Okay, so welcome to my presentation. I've called it the master plan, and my plan is to tell you a bit about some ideas I have and how I would like to take them further, a bit about my practice. My practice really revolves around our perception of reality and how we then, as humans, translate that reality into images in general and into art. And one of my mediums is photography. And I think photography is a very interesting medium for my theme because unlike drawing or painting, a photograph is always dependent on the reality and it records it. It's a literal recording of a mirrored image of reality. But having said that, missing an E there, but not to worry, an image, it's not a just image, it's just an image. So, a photograph, even though it's a recording of reality, I still feel like I'm not really getting my reality across, or it's a bit too flat, maybe too small, maybe too big, it doesn't correspond. So I've come up with different strategies of trying to solve this issue that I'm just going to go through really quickly. And one of them is through using scale. So make it big, or in this case, this is actually quite small. And the other thing is to make it more like mine. I actually literally go in and paint on it. So this is watercolor, and I also painted on top of it. So watercolor underneath, and I painted more on top of it. So literally going in and doing that. And it's also through using heavy materials and more dimensions than one. So solid oak, for instance. And it's through filling in the blanks, like add what I think needs to be added for it to be more my reality and my subjective reality. So in this case, painting on all four sides. And it's also through presentation. So trying to mimic the gaze, what I would see when I'm out on my little dog walk here in this case. Or this is more like a stream of consciousness. So I kind of displayed it so you get like a sneak peek into my obviously very scattered mind. And it's through taking like a really flat photo paper and making a few folds, it can become like a three-dimensional object. So really into doing that. And it's through distortion. So melting glass, in this case I use bottle glass, and sandwich them with photographs. And it's also through camera-specific distortions. So through keeping the shutter open for a full second, I get a sort of animated still. And is it more realistic or is it less realistic? I mean, I'm just asking the questions, I'm coming with the answers. So those are some of the methods. And now I'm on to presenting projects. So this is an image from a project called Black, White and the Gradient in Between. And that whole project was born out of this sort of frustration that the public debate had gone a bit stupid. Like, it was either black or white. There was never any grayscale. And it was always like this frozen still, you can almost liken it with, where everything was so definite. And if you do this thing where it's a long shutter speed, then it's not definite. Like, I'm in two places at the same time. So it's this claustrophobic feeling it led me to create these images in particular. And master plan for these images was to choose other people. This is another artist, local artist, Persson. And to me, I think I kind of captured her with this. To me, this is her. This is my best representation of her, and she is a bit like this. She's very vivid when she explains things. But a master plan I also have, there's something called a zoetrope, which is a really old-fashioned device where images move, you can make them move. So I made a GIF out of this, but somehow that was quite unsatisfying. I would like to make some old-fashioned device, or even like, one of those postcards where you flip it. It's like, depending on how you flip it, it's two images. So that's the master plan with that. And this is an example of how I have displayed them. And they are life-size, so I'm trying to get them so they're the same scale. And not always square, because there's nothing going on in the corners there, so there's no reason to have it like a square. And also the display is kind of how I imagine the feeling. So it's a debate that goes on. And I also like to add maybe more text with this project, more about my thoughts, and maybe even other people's thoughts. About social media, about cancel culture, about politics. A lot to unpack there, so I'm not going to go into that further. But also, speaking of scale, I got to do this commission in Swedsih. It's a sports hall, and that was actually the first time I saw one of these figures full scale, and I was thought, this is what it needs to be. Need to have it full scale, because there's so many nuances here, and of course now you're not even seeing it full scale, so you're not going to get it like the whole experience. But it was very interesting to me, and how I could also work with the whole room with dimension. So I think always trying to think site specific is very exciting, and that is another way that you can make a photograph not feel flat anymore, but to feel like it's alive, it's like part of the room. And the other thing which was really fun with this is that it had like the function of it, because these are just like tiny rooms. They're really high in ceiling. I think it's 4.6 meters. They're only 1.5 meters wide. So you can see, you get curious about what it is. This would have just been a black hole otherwise. And once you're inside the room, it kind of lights up, and then you get everything. So this is the changing rooms.
Are they photographs, yeah?
They are photographs. These are also shot with a 1 second exposure.
Is it like glued on the wall, paper, or?
Yes, it's 3 levels. So it's either straight onto the wall,
yeah,
glued straight onto the wall, like a giant sticker, let's say. Or it's mounted on MDF boards, which are backlit, and there are also some 3 hanging figures that hang from the ceiling, so kind of breaking off the ceiling height a little bit. And to my other master plan, when they did when they opened up the sports hall, I wanted to try and make this crowd photo. So this is something I would like to explore further, but maybe in a more choreographed way, because I was trying to choreograph them, but I had no one helping me, so it was a bit hard to get them. You see the grown-ups, they're all standing still, so they're not doing their job. Maybe like a professional choreographer would be really cool. And I also got into thinking about how it could be patterns as well. And that I've also found really fun. How can you make like a long corridor or like a glass partition? How can you make that more fun? Or something that you can look at again and again. And then the body becomes like a part of a pattern. And how I'm thinking, these are just like sketches, I'd be like, oh, that would look pretty cool. And how I'm thinking about it is that it would like, if it would start from, it could be anyway, but if it would start from the wall, it could like curve around the ceiling, or it could go around the corner, or, you know, there are many possibilities. Or you can combine them in different ways as well. So that's a fun way of thinking about it. Now I'm going to present another, you remember me showing that I was filling in the blanks earlier. And this is how I start out. And this is like really hard to see, so that's why I brought some props. I don't know if they need to be, if you, I just wanted you to see the difference between, that there's a difference between the photograph and what's painted around. And it's not very, I don't actually make it like really trying to make it look like a photograph. I'm trying to just make it something else. So there's a difference. So one is the photograph, which is also really personal to me, but the other is what I've added to it. And now I'm coming back to this theme about reality, because I mean, what I've been drawn to, like you saw the first photo there, was like a literal heap of rubbish. And I'm drawn to the very, like, everyday, like what's underrepresented in photography. Or it could just be, this is like a bleak winter's day on the west coast. So that's what you could be thinking when you're walking there. But actually, all I was thinking about is that what a fantastic colour green this is. And that's why the green is on top there as well. Not very good colour rendition you get here, but really nice colour green. Or so sometimes make it even into little film sequences. So you have the division there, which is like if it would be a film strip. Okay, yeah. So, and also you have the different dimensions of different. Photo is also about time, right? So this is my dog that's been in a lot of these pictures. She died when she was 16. This is my son, he is now 16. And the dog died when he was this size. And I don't think I knew what I was doing at the time, but I work intuitively, but now I can totally understand that that's what it means. And that's why I also started doing this double exposures, because everything happening at once is like black and white, color, same view, or you have inside and outside. So my master plan for these photos, this you can actually see it looks at the moment, is imagine if this was not the photo, but it was reality. So you have maybe a window or a mural, so introducing imperfect murals. So that is my master plan, to be able to do that. And there's so much to unpack here as well, so it's best to just go and see it in person. Here I also do molten glass, there's a bit of stone, there's some origami birds, there's painting, you name it. And this is, similarly as Anders was talking about, I've interpreted this artist, she's interpreted me. And this piece is also about time and photography and imagery. Okay, and lastly, really quickly, is a series I called Monologue, where I have a debate with myself, or sometimes you're confused and sometimes you're in the know. Sometimes it's charging spread free, and sometimes you just complicate everything, but it's quite beautiful in itself. And you keep on going. This is me on like a day where I think the world is just, this is the hopeless feeling. But then again, what I try to do is treading lightly in uncharted territory, putting one foot in front of the other, and hopefully it will work out.
Thank you. Okay, we have time if you have some questions or if you want to add something, Jenny, if you want to breathe. So I think you have a question there.
Yes.
I wonder a little bit about this reality of yours. It seems like it's quite important for you to find this sideboard, to trace this reality.
Yes.
That is, as you said, like more subjective, of course, it's yours. And then you have this master plan that is like reoccurring. And also when you talk, you introduce each and every project as a master plan.
Yes.
Do you think about this phrase also in an ironic way?
Well, calling it the master plan is obviously a little bit ironic, because, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, so it's just I'm making out as I go along. Like, I think everyone is. so yeah, there is a bit of a Trumpism going on there. But I think as an artist, like, I mean, you always have this division of what's going on in your head and what's real. But I mean, if you're an artist, if you use art, then you can have that that's going on in your head, and you can put that onto something, and then you can materialize it. And that's kind of part of the thing. I'm trying to like put something out there, and it sounds like really egotistical. It's like everyone needs to see things my way. But that's not really how I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking more like, if I just like, how vague can I be here for you to like just use your brain to fill in the blanks as well? What can I leave out? What can I put in? So it's always about editing, and I'm terrible at editing, so I could have told you about 5 other projects I'm doing. So, but this is the best I can do today. it was probably confusing for you anyway, but it's I think that I feel quite strongly that the recurring theme is this connection with the reality, and how I like draw reality, like, but it always comes back to that, and what we see and what we present, like what we present of ourselves is,
My suggestion would be just not for the others, maybe just for yourself, when finding the possibilities to find the answers, that it's not bad maybe to stay with this irony and see what happens there, because my impression was also that there is a lot of humor, especially in those 2 public projects that you showed. So just maybe something more is there on a thematical level, and also liberation. Thank you.
Thank you. There seems to be like a lot of energy in experimentation, like in pushing the limits of the mediums and like photography and what you can do. And I'm a little bit curious about like your trajectory, like the journey with photography. Like, where did you start to study photography, or like how? Yeah.
Yes, it was interesting. I really got into photography when I got my first DSLR when I was 16, and I got into it more like, I mean, this is actually a photo I took when I was like 18, which is like photography in time is like an amazing, but I made something else of it now. So taking a lot of photos of nature and like that. But then, and I tried to go to art school. At first I did foundation in this. And then I did a few of those projects were photographic, but I wasn't really counting it as part of my art practice. And when I got into art school, it was on the basis of drawings and collages. But then I was in London, and I just didn't find that. I just found myself more and more in the dark room, and it was like a feeling where I had no rest. I used to sketch from the tube all the time, so I did that, but it just took over like my entire thing. And then I was selected as one of 2 people to go to Prague to found it. It's an art college, like a film and photography school. So I spent 6 months there and really getting into the kind of molecules of everything. And that was really interesting because I found myself like a bit alone in the dark room in London, if you know what I mean. But then I was also thinking, but I'm actually not a photographer. I'm still just like, this is like, it's really good that I was here, but this is like, I'm coming from the art perspective. So I'm not coming from the photography perspective. But it's just stayed with me since, I suppose. But the other mediums have come in, and I think I'm secretly like a sculptor, and I'm always trying to do sculpture, but then I work with flat mediums, so I'm trying to find a solution. But then it comes back to the reality. So yeah, I think I could go on all day about that, but yeah, maybe answer your question.
Are you working parallel with these different works? I mean, this photo and the photo on the piece of wood and the painting, or is it a timeline, or are you working parallel with all this?
Yeah, I am kind of a bit messy like that because I am kind of working with everything at the same time. But sometimes certain things take over and other things lay more dormant, and it depends on what. But I don't really see them as different things, to be honest. I see them as like being one thing, and they look a bit different. I'm just divided them into different, named them different things, divided them into different groups, just for it to be more like clear when I'm trying to talk about it to other people, I think. Because you can't know what goes on in here in like 10 minutes. It's like it's impossible.
Just something about the photo on the piece of wood and the size and the transfer between the photo, the little shifting, and when it's continue onto the piece of wood, it's never the same size. You can always see the photo when it's painted all over. Just something about,
I mean,
if there is some idea about this, the wood meeting the photo, and
you can never be sure with me. It's from day to day. Sometimes just paint over it. Like here, I just cut it out. Like made it like, I don't even know if this is finished, but and usually, I don't know. I just think this is like an illustration for me. It's like, I mean, what is more real? Was it the photo, or was it? Because I do still think that I have like of course I'm showing my straight up photography as well, and that's like just as personal to me as is if I would have actually drawn on it. So it's not that. It's just more like, it started as a thing where I needed to show that, you know, it's just so easy just to look at a photo and you say, oh, that is. But like in the words of Magritte, I mean, this is not a pipe. It's just a representation of something. So I just like, when I started, it was more like to say like that I'm actually a person behind this camera here as well. And that's just start doing that more and more, and also, again, that's like everything in my master plan is usually to make things bigger. It seems to be. And I think that's just because I worked small for so long, because didn't have any money, didn't have any, and then when I've seen it, when it's big, I'm like, yes, this is it. This is what I need to do. But then I can appreciate, like, some pieces are tiny, so I think that's fun as well. It depends. I don't know. I'm not coming up with any answer. I'm just asking lots of questions, and then
Sure.
and then I don't know.
But is it like it sounds like it's a continuous quest on the nature of reality.
Yes,
Like,
and it gets super philosophical.
because you also started with a quote from Susan Sontag
Yeah.
that said that you don't just have to be creative, and it's about the past because you fix that moment in time. But if I look at both these works in which you sort of extend the photography into painting, and also those works that are straight photography, so to say, that try to capture more than one moment, then to me it sounds like a hint or a wish to talk about that what you see is not what there is. There is
Yes.
more into
Yes,
that.
I mean it's yeah, that's it. You got it there. I'm trying to say, like, but you think this is what it is, but think again, think about it more. Like, and hopefully, like as I said, I want people to fill in the blanks themselves and start thinking something, and that's where yes.
So that's some kind of a core for you, the question for yourself. Like you said, what is real? So you're...
Yeah, I don't know.
No, but I mean, your question is for you.
Yeah, but that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to have a break, and I think we're going to have more discussions later on. So we just on schedule. Thank you, Jenny.